What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It is Kevin Forte, and today we are looking at the Vegas Golden Knights. And they made a lot of moves this offseason, and a couple that are just big moves for the Golden Knights. Is this the year that the Golden Knights can return to Stanley Cup glory? They've been a little bit overshadowed the last 2 years as the Western Conference champion. Going to the Cup final, Edmonton Oilers are kind of seen as the supreme team in the Western Conference, specifically in the Pacific Division. But let's not forget the last 2 years. The Vegas Golden Knights won, and specifically last season, won the Pacific Division. Are they coming back for revenge in 2025, 2026? We're going to discuss that here today. All right, so let's get it right out of the way. I mean, the giant elephant in the room, it is Mitch Marner, number 93 this season for the Vegas Golden Knights, coming over from Toronto. He's going to be playing on the top line alongside Pavel Dorofeyev and Jack Eichel. Dorofeyev had an incredible season last year for the Vegas Golden Knights. Really, the expectations, they expected him to do well last season, but not that well. He did extremely well last season, picking up 35 goals last season. He scored more goals than Mitch Marner, Jack Eichel, Ivan Barbashev, Tomas Hertl, those top guys. He is the leader of the pack last season for the Vegas Golden Knights. And this is a guy that, considering his time on ice, he didn't even reach 17 minutes of ice time per game. A lot of these guys were getting 20-plus minutes a night without that production. So I expect Bruce Cassidy to play him a lot more than he did last season. And I think that's something that, if you're taking a look at Vegas, as much as everybody's excited about Marner, do not sleep on Pavel Dorofeyev, number 16. The other, there's already a number 16, Mitch Marner. It's this guy, because he is that good. So that's your top line. Really excited to see that. That is going to be electric for the Golden Knights this season. Might even be the best line in the National Hockey League this season. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that now. Ivan Barbashev, Tomas Hertl, and Mark Stone as your second line. If Mark Stone can stay healthy, same thing for Tomas Hertl. If those guys can stay healthy, that is going to be another really good line for the Golden Knights. Brandon Saad, William Karlsson, and Riley Smith. I really like that third line too. This reminds me a lot more of the misfits of the Golden Knights. Riley Smith obviously returning. He was one of the original misfits of the Golden Knights, and William Karlsson, who is still there. I really love that. I love that they have this line. Brandon Saad, listen, he went through a lot last season, and basically terminating his contract because he just wanted out of that situation. So I'm really hoping that he has a good season this year. More than a lot of guys in the league, this is one that we might be looking next season at, maybe like the Masterton or one of those trophies. That could be Brandon Saad next season, and hopefully he's able to do that with the Knights. Brett Howden, Colton Sissons, and Keegan Colasar as your third line. That is a pain in the ass if I've ever seen a fourth line. Brett Howden has that scoring touch. Colton Sissons and Colasar are going to be a pain in the ass. They're going to be tough to play against every single night, and they're going to be playing against the top lines of a lot of teams. And what's really nice about this is Sissons is your center, but Brett Howden can also play center. So if you're playing some of those top lines, you can, if Sissons gets thrown out of the circle, you can put Brett Howden in there. It's important to have two centers on that type of line. It's a shutdown line, and I really think that's a really good line to have for the Golden Knights. Defense, not too much change, but a little bit. So you got Shea Theodore and Brady McNabb. Nothing changing there. Noah Hannafin and Zach Whitecloud is your second pair. And it's weird because we no longer see Alex Pietrangelo here, but it is Jeremy Lauzon and Caden Korczak. Really interesting because Jeremy Lauzon has moved around a lot over the years. Most recently, I think he was with Seattle. And just things were okay, but nothing great there. There was a lot of expectations when he was drafted by the Bruins. And I think in this spot, on the third pair, with this type of decor, that's a good spot for him alongside Caden Korczak. This is a solid defense for the Golden Knights. Now, like I mentioned earlier, in terms of injuries, it is Alex Pietrangelo. Number 7 will not be starting likely next season for the Golden Knights, at least on opening night. A lot of injury stuff going on with him, and we'll see if he ever plays for the Golden Knights again. We will have to wait and see what happens with that. Goaltending, you've got Adin Hill and Akira Schmid. Weird to see Akira Schmid no longer with the Devils, but Adin Hill is back. Listen, there's doubters for Adin Hill. There always has been. He has a Stanley Cup ring to his name. So as much as the haters will be there, and they will always be there, they shut up for 5 minutes when you win a Stanley Cup, but they come right back. That's the situation for Adin Hill, but he is a competent goaltender, and I think with Akira Schmid as the backup, I really, again, their weaknesses for the Golden Knights, you really got to search them out, because I think overall this team is solid up and down the lineup. And the penalty kill is good. You've got Eichel and Stone, Howden and Carlson, Hanifin, Lauzon, Whitecloud and McNabb. This is a team that, if they are able to stay healthy, and that's a big if, because we've seen a lot of injury issues recently from Mark Stone, Alex Pietrangelo, just to name the biggest ones. This is a team that can easily get detrimented with injuries, but when they're healthy, this is a solid roster, and I'm looking at this on paper. Even without Alex Pietrangelo, I really like the Vegas Golden Knights going into this season. And there is just, I talked about the Devils the other day. Complementary pieces that work together cohesively. That is another thing I would say with more skill for the Vegas Golden Knights. The issues that I saw with the Devils, I'm not meaning to talk about the Devils here, but I think when you're looking at some of the more high-end teams in the Atlantic or in the Eastern Conference, because the Devils are seen as probably one of the bigger 4 or 5 teams in the Eastern Conference. I think the Devils lack scoring, and I think this is a team in Vegas that has all the scoring throughout the lineup. And I think guys like Brett Howden, as much as maybe people don't talk about them that much, Brett Howden is a depth goal scorer on the fourth line, but he also kills penalties. And I think that is the kind of thing where when you're looking at this team, they have guys that can kill penalties. They're tough to play against in the playoffs. They have high-end goal scorers like Dorofeyev and Marner, who have almost 70 goals combined between the two of them. Riley Smith, who's great depth on the third line. This is a team that you look at that second line of Riley Smith, Carlson, and Saad on some of the lower teams in the league. That's a second line. You have a second line on your third line for the Golden Knights. And the fourth line is a really solid fourth line, and I'll give them that much credit. They're a solid fourth line. But you need complementary pieces that can move around, and I see a lot of these guys, they get along, they like playing there. Most of these guys are there because they want to be there. They had to waive no-move clauses to go there. They had to sign there, like Marner and Eichel, Hurdle, Stone, all those guys. This is a team of guys that want to win. They have a lot of that winning pedigree still. When they won that Stanley Cup a few years back, they would be my favorite to win the Stanley Cup in 2026 right now. If I had to put it on paper, I really think that the Golden Knights just have everything that you need. And on any given night, any single one of those guys can have a goal or two. And that kind of cohesion and depth is what gets you through not only the full 82, soon to be 84 game schedule next season, a full 82-game schedule, but also a deep playoff run. And I think they met the wrong team at the wrong time last year in the playoffs. And that's why things didn't work out the way they wanted. But this is a solid Golden Knights team that you give me on paper today. They're going to be back, and they're going to be back looking for vengeance. That's a good hockey club that definitely the rest of not only the Pacific Division, but the Western Conference should definitely keep an eye on this season. So with that said, I think they're going to finish right around the President's Trophy this season, and I hate throwing that out there as kind of a curse, but I really think they're capable of that. There is so much respect, and, this is a team that has guys that are proven winners. Now, with that said, Marner could really rewrite the script this season, leaving Toronto, being kind of left for dead, booed off the ice from his hometown team. The story writes itself. He winning a Stanley Cup the next season, maybe winning the Maurice Richard Trophy for most goals scored this season, maybe in the running with Austin Matthews at the end of the season. That would be an incredible storyline, right? Him and Matthews trying to win the Rocket Richard. Marner maybe winning a Stanley Cup. How crazy would that be? How crazy would that be? And there is a reality that could very much happen going into 2026. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think down below? Let me know your thoughts, your predictions for the Vegas Golden Knights. I'd love to hear it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe as always. The uploads are coming up a little bit more recently than before. I apologize for that. Things have been really busy, but we're back on the grind, getting into the regular season. I'm really excited. It's a month away, and we're getting there. We are 2 months away. We're a month away from preseason, 2 months away from regular season. It's coming quick. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you again next time. Peace out.